Speaking of knee pads.
He's a Californian. I think he's probably never lived outside of California.
Right,
to go on the international stage is a big deal.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Davos to see all the CEOs he chased out of California.
But Gavin's not focused on the Golden State. He's focused on 47. He wants his job. But how can he get a promotion when he can't even do the job he has?
Screwing around. He tried to light democracy on fire when he lost the election, tried to light it on fire.
Fire? Bad analogy, knee pads. Fox News contributor Joe Concha. All right, so it's kind of shaping up the contours of the midterms. Looks like Trump's dialed in on the economy. The Democrats, I really don't know what they're doing. What do you think's going on, Joe?
Well, I look at the polls, Jesse, and I see the Democratic Party polling at 19% approval. I mean, ear hair is more popular than the Democratic Party at this point, Jesse. That ain't good. And leading the way as their nominee in 2028, perhaps, is Gavin Newsom, the guy you just talked about. This is the same guy who, is presiding over the highest income taxes in the country, highest unemployment rate in the country, highest poverty rate in the country. The guy who you can count on one hand in terms of how many homes have been rebuilt in the Palisades since those fires a year ago. And I think in the end, what the American people value most is authenticity, even if they disagree with the person who is talking. And Newsom's $18 billion train that was never built is more real than Gavin Newsom right now, who's learning that hair gel and veneered teeth can only get you so far, especially in states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia. Those working class people that decide voters are going to look at this guy from California the same way they looked at Kamala Harris, an elitist, the French laundry guy, the guy who sent his kids to private school during COVID while he shut down public schools. I'm sorry. He is not authentic. I think that's painfully obvious. And he only has trolling and duplicity to run on at this point. And I think in the end, if they run Gavin Newsom, it's going to be the same results we saw with Kamala Harris. J.D. Vance wins every swing state, the popular vote, and Democrats are in the woods once again because they picked another California person who can't relate to people, real people, in the parts of the country they need to win.
It's such a good point about getting outside of California. Any liberal with good hair can win the office in California, but you got to campaign in South Carolina and New Hampshire and Iowa, real people at real diners, and he's never ever really proved himself outside of the Golden State. Do you think Democrats are getting a little ahead of themselves by anointing him? Is there some secret Democrat that has a lot of talent that I don't know about that's going to sweep off the sidelines? Tell me, Joe.
Is it Stephen A. Smith? I mean, he talks about running for president.
I hope so.
J.B. Pritzker has been... Yeah, that would be interesting, right? I kind of like Stephen. But in the end, J.B. Pritzker, Ralph Cramden over in Illinois, he's being touted by James Carville today, for example, as somebody who could win. But in the end, he also has an authenticity problem. And he doesn't have that it factor. Like Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, they were electric on the speech. I think, again, Don Lemon, I think, will be probably the nominee before J.B. Pritzker is because they're not going to, quite frankly,
that's actually not a bad idea. I mean, Don Lemon
guy.
now is in play. If he beats the rap, he's a martyr. He's got celebrity status. I mean, they could put him on the ticket.
Yeah. Wow.
I like it.
A Lemon AOC ticket.
I love it.
Be good for us. Good for Fox News.
I love it. It sure is. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, Joe, good to see you. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.